Watch where you keep putting your children.
If I can't trust you, I can't respect you. If I can't respect you, how do you have a marriage?
You're supposed to know your taxes and insurance are going to go up.
Why is it that
In police
why
training.
is it that police officers spend more time in black neighborhoods?
They're committing more
disproportionately?
crimes.
They're not.
Yo, what it do? Welcome back to another episode of BUA. I'm your host, Harold Damu. Here we talk business, politics, war, love, and everything in between. Now, let's get into something uncomfortable, but necessary. Killer Mike, he sparked a real conversation saying, Black parents should be careful about letting their kids be surrounded by all white environments. Not out of hate, but out of protection.
It's never one white person going with 5 black guys.
Usually one white person going with 5 black guys, he come back saying, I had an amazing time at the Blue Flame. I think I married a girl named Keisha. You know, but what you don't get is a silence, a come home, a lawyering up. And I'm not talking to anybody but our black parents at this. Watch where you keep putting your children. I'm not saying that all isn't fair, that you don't deserve to live where you want to live,
shit.
that your kids don't deserve to go to school. But no black child should be the only black child in a boat full of goddamn white kids. I'm sorry, I just don't like that. But young men have so much machismo. At some point, I'm gonna get pissed off with my friend, no matter what color he is, and I'm gonna say something crazy and fucked up because we little boys. We got these huge 200-pound bodies, and we got the mind of a fucking 12-year-old. And Jennifer, I might not have had a racist bone in my body, but all of a sudden Jennifer wants to fuck you and not me. And that's the day you become a nigger and we fight. And Chad and I have been together since fucking nursery. And you've been with us since 7th grade because your parents have finally moved here for a better school. And all of a sudden you're fucking dead. And me and Chad will dump you over the side. And Jennifer's so fucking scared she don't know what the fuck to do. And y'all of you come home and you lawyer it up. And you're dead. Simply because you and Chad are just regular teenage boys who fight over a girl. You know what I'm saying? But that's what best of the worst case scenarios, that's what's happening. Because I don't believe these kids are just going, oh, we're going to go out here, it's like an iced tea, but we're going to go hunt human beings. But all of this social constructing of putting us subtly against one another.
See, that's the thing. It's a social construct of it all. Like, white people just feel like they're more important than black people. Like, they just have a hate in their heart. I mean, these kids went to lynchings. Like, white people used to bring their kids to lynchings. Who brings a child to a lynching? Just think about the psychology of this. Nolan Wells, he was a young black child. He was found dead, like with some suspicious circumstances. You really can't leave your black children around white children. Black people feel like they're in a better situation if they leave their black children around white children because, I mean, there's a lot that happens to black people from black people, but that's with any culture. I mean, it's going to be white on white crime, Latino on Latino, black on black, because that's who's in proximity to you generally. And at the end of the day, but we have a history of white people having crime on black people. That's the difference. So white people move to the suburbs and black people follow them to the suburbs so they can be amongst white people and have proximity to them. Then white people move back to the city. Then black people follow them back to the city so they can be amongst them and feel important and feel like the special black. Just like in corporate America, you got the special head nigger in charge, basically, that you might see another black person in a corporate environment and they'll look down or like act like they don't want to talk to you and stuff. They don't want to like have lunch with you because then it looks like we're together. Like, you ever been in one of those corporate environments where you see another black person and like they just don't want to like really be real close to you because they want to like be separated and they don't want to lose their job by looking like we're together? That's what's going on. It's just like, so with these kids, they probably didn't try to kill Nolan. It was just a situation where it led to these type of things. It led to somebody just like the Carmelo Anthony situation with that kid. He probably didn't think in the morning he's going to kill somebody. It just leads to these things. And they're kids and their brains are undeveloped, by the way. They're under 25. Their brains are not developed. So they make mistakes. But when you make a mistake, sometimes somebody's life can be on the line. The bigger issue is when black children are isolated in spaces when they have no cultural protection, no community oversight, and no one advocating for them, what really happens when something goes wrong. So that's the thing. These kids came back home and lured up real quick and nothing's going to happen to them. So it's not about fear. It's about awareness. Like, I mean, I personally don't just hate all white people, but if I'm in a situation where I'm driving in the middle of Alabama and I see a bunch of white people try to stop my car and pull me over to the side, I'm gonna run their ass over. Like, I'm gonna get out of there. I'm gonna go the other way. You know, like you might see a black kid walking down the sidewalk with a black hoodie on, and you might cross the street and go to the other side. The same thing with white people. Like, I would have more fear with seeing a group of white people walking down a sidewalk than a black kid with a hoodie on. I would definitely cross and try to go to the other side. I might even start jogging and acting like I was on a jog so I can get the hell up out of there. So if we don't protect our own, nobody else will. Now, let's talk about money, because this next conversation, it hits every household watching. Earn Your Leisure broke down the housing market, and the question is simple. Are we heading into a crash? Or are we already in one?
You know, one of the biggest mistakes that I still see people doing, and this has been probably for the last 10 years of my career, is that people are not taking the time to learn this business before they go out and buy. Like, guys, we see these videos, these reaction videos all the time with the buyer's remorse, right? People crying what they home ownership is a scam. Oh, they didn't tell you this. Like, excuse me, it's called do your due diligence. You're supposed to know your taxes and insurance are going to go up. You're supposed to know these things. I'm sorry. Like, it's no excuse. And I feel for some of these folks, and I know a lot of people like to blame the real estate professional on it. Like, oh, the realtor didn't tell me this, the loan officer didn't tell me this, but it's your responsibility. It's your money.
Yeah.
You're the one who's responsible for the mortgage, nobody else.
If you never lived in a home, or if you never purchased a home, you don't have a full understanding of all of the expenses that come into owning a home. So you can't get blindsided. You can't get blindsided by the taxes, by the upkeep, by the maintenance, by the random, things that you got to fix in the house, by the contractor giving you the runaround. So that's important. That's why you're here, right? Education.
That's why we're here, but you just took the words right out of my mouth. We have this right here. Like, how could you, like, I'm sorry, I'm a little biased on this, right? Like, everybody's on their phone scrolling, but what are you really paying attention to?
Right. Everybody's on their phone scrolling, but what are you paying attention to? What does your algorithm say about you? You know, like if you look at my algorithm, it's nothing but business ownership, how to start a business, how to scale a business. It's about, development. You might look at somebody else's and it might be a bunch of girls, big booty shaking, fights and stuff. I look at somebody's algorithm, I see like fights. I'm like, why is there fights? But the foreclosures in this country are on a rise again. Homeowners are falling behind, especially those who bought at peak prices with high interest rates and minimal financial cushion. The thing is, in the black community especially, we're consumers, and we're the number one consumers. We're the number 8 buying power, but we're the number one consumers. And home ownership is at an all-time low in our community. But when we do buy, we buy at the wrong price and we buy at the top of the market because our realtor is telling us, hey, you qualify for a house that costs this much. That doesn't mean you have to buy a house that costs that much. That's like one of the biggest mistakes. People get qualified or pre-qualified for a $500,000 house and they buy a $500,000 house. And in this current market, we're kind of even in a worse situation than the Great Depression. During the Great Depression, I think the average income was $4,200 a year, which is equivalent to $92,000 right now. And the average income right now is around $50,000. So we're really in a real Great Depression right now, which people don't want to talk about. It's just a bigger gap between the rich and the poor. So there's still a lot of people that have money, and they have a lot more money than they ever had before. Just like Elon Musk is a trillionaire. We never had a trillionaire before, but we never had this many people be as poor as they are at the same time. So it's kind of hard to understand the market. But the reality is, Black people have to do more due diligence before they buy things, especially like homes. We have to educate ourselves. We can't rely on the school system to teach us anymore. We can't be like, oh, we didn't learn real estate in school. It's like, of course you didn't learn real estate in school. You got to learn it now. Like, you got to learn how to invest. Buy a fourplex, buy 10 units, 25 units, 32 units, then buy a house. Buy some assets that are hard, that cash flow you some money. A home is not an investment. People want to just have a home so they can have people over for the fight, have people over for the games, just so they can be like, look, I have a house. But that's hurting your generation and hurting your bloodline financially in the craziest way. And we can't go down that. That's been programmed in our minds to get a home and a white picket fence and a dog and all of those things. That's not for us. What's for us is ownership. We have to have businesses that cash flow, hard assets. You can buy a house if you can afford it. You know, it's like a retail item. It's like buying a car, or it's like buying a car or some shoes. Like you can get some nice shoes if you can afford them. It's not even like buying a watch. A watch at least appreciates. A watch you can resell in the future if it's even silver, gold, platinum. You can at least resell that in the future. You can't resell your house, and houses don't always even appreciate. That's a lie that's sold to us too. But what does appreciate is if you buy it at the right price, if you become educated on real estate. Real estate and stocks is just fundamental finance. It's not, I'm a real estate guy or I'm a finance guy. Everybody needs to know finance, real estate, stocks, ETFs, REITs, investments, commodities. These are just the basics of finances that everyone should know. So the question isn't, is the market crashing? The real question is, were people ever really prepared in the first place? Because ownership without strategy is just a delayed loss. Now, let's get into a narrative that's been pushed for decades. Crime, violence, and who society tells us to fear. An ex-cop sat down with a group of black liberals, and what came of the conversation challenges everything that we've been taught.
They're literally trained.
You're projecting
to
your
actually
bias.
go through.
Tell me how they're trained. Have you been through police training?
No, I have not.
I went through police training.
Sure, cool story.
And they do not teach discrimination in police training.
Why is it that police officers spend more time in black neighborhoods
They're committing more crimes.
They're not.
Yes, they are.
Who commits the most violent crimes in America today?
Per capita, black
Not
people
per
do.
capita, period.
Black people do.
No, white people.
No, it's
white men,
not,
specifically.
that's a lie.
FBI
Fact check
data.
it.
Fact check it.
For
White
50%,
men specifically commit the most violent crime in the United States of America. If you're talking about property crimes,
no, I'm not
yes, it's
talking
black
about
people.
I'm talking about violent crimes.
Violent crimes, it's white men, including CSAM. White men, if you could talk per capita with CSAM, you can talk numbers. White men disproportionately represent CSAM and violent crime.
Murder rate and violent crimes disproportionately represent
you believe in
the black
1350?
community.
There's some idea that black men commit violent crimes, and although they do make up a disproportionate rate of homicides, these are not convictions. These are arrests. And a lot of these statistics, they get skewed in the media where, yes, black men get arrested the most, but they beat a lot of these cases because they don't have evidence. Because you have black cops like this that see a black person as an evil person because that's what's been perpetuated to them through the media. Just like if you see a rabbit or a snake. If you see a rabbit on TV or in real life, you're like, oh, it's a nice rabbit. If you see a snake, you'd be like, oh shit, it's a snake. It's the same thing. That's how media works. Black people are the snakes and white people are the rabbits. So statistically, when broken down by total numbers, white Americans commit a large portion of the violent crimes, but media makes it seem like black people are committing all violent crimes, especially when we talk about what type of crimes. I mean, just in reality, we just had another mass shooting. I mean, who commits mass shootings? Who like shoots up schools? Who does like actual violent crimes like pedophilia, like harming children? Black people do stuff like smoke weed. They get caught for like shooting at each other, like not shooting at any like little kids. I mean, it happens, but not like shooting, not on purpose. They're not out here shooting kids and shooting old women. They're like basically generally shooting at each other. They're, if that goes on, and they're getting caught for non-violent crimes and drug offenses and things of that nature. White people are children, doing violent crimes like mass shooting, mass murder, shooting schools up, aggravated assault, things of that nature. Black people are like robbing and things because they don't have money. They've been disenfranchised, so they might rob a bank or like try to take some money, and they may be doing it aggravated because they have a gun on them, but they're not really trying to hurt anybody. Like, think about the actual stereotypes that's been put and perpetuated to people through the media. It's like, black people just want a little bit of money. Like, they just want to smoke a little weed and relax their mind. And they might do some drugs because they're stressed out from the society and the pressures of this. White people just do random crimes they don't even need to do, like shoot up schools and children and just do random things like this. So the result, over policing in the black communities, underreported in others, and a cycle that keeps the same narrative alive regardless of the actual data. So it isn't about crimes, it's about perception. Because if the story being told doesn't match reality, then we have to ask, who benefits from the lie? Now, to close things out, let's talk about relationships, because this next conversation is one a lot of people think, but they don't say out loud. Sarah and B. Simone, they sat down to discuss love, loyalty, and whether a man sleeping with another woman actually mean he loves his partner or not.
There's a lot of things I think my husband would do. Cheating just ain't one of them.
Is that a non-negotiable?
The truth is, and I'm gonna be so transparent, and I've said this on my show. The truth is, I don't feel like a man having sex with another woman means he loves me less.
I believe that. I believe that. But
you're right. And if you lie and you're deceptive and you want to betray me on that level, how could we? How I can't trust you. If I can't trust you, I can't respect you. If I can't respect you, how do you have a marriage? So why would you desecrate our marriage in that way? And I chose a person that looks at cheating the same way.
Okay.
I chose a person that I believe in my heart of hearts, he's not the man. If he goes to a strip club, this man is literally eating wings watching a game. Mm-hmm. He ain't throwing no ones on a woman. And even if he did, he doesn't, but even if he did, I'm not pressed. You trust him. My husband. I trust him so. This man would die for me. And I know that for a fact. Like the way that he has shown up for me, even like the visions of what I thought marriage was supposed to be. Here's a small example. Me growing up, my dad doesn't eat if my mom doesn't cook. My mom is also a 6-figure earning woman, but she is traditional. They are ride or die best friends. When my dad was in an injury, and at the time, yes, he was getting disability, but he couldn't support the household the same way. My mom had a full-time job, was going to school full-time, had all of us kids, my dad's injury, all having a life, and also trying to make sure we weren't homeless. She still made him head of household.
Through history, women have never really cared if their men have other partners. What women care about is trust. And I mean, if you're gonna cheat on your girl or your wife, that's like your best friend. Why would you do that? Men can definitely separate sex from emotion. So it's like they understand that. Women understand that, but most men are weak. They're weak as hell. And then they've been indoctrinated by that Christianity stuff. They've been indoctrinated to think they need to live like the Europeans and have one woman and be into like gayism, basically. So they don't truly understand having more than one woman and what level of transparency and what level of communication and leadership it takes to have more than one woman. Most black men, they just sit there and lie to their woman because they know that in order for me to have a woman and a mistress or a second wife or sister wives and make my women cooperative, I have to raise my level up. And I'm not willing to raise my level up financially, mentally, spiritually, leadership wise. I'm not willing to do that. So I'm just going to lie to my woman and I'm going to have sex with the woman down the street whenever my woman looks off or she goes to work. I come home from work early, I'm going to have sex with the neighbor because I don't want to elevate myself to be qualified to be that type of man for my woman. Take care of my woman, provide and lead her spiritually, mentally, psychologically, spiritually, in all these different types of ways. So most black men, they're weak as hell. Like that's why they have to lie and cheat to their best friend and the person that will have their back. When things go bad and they lose their job, they be real faithful to the girl because they know they need her. So like they know they need her, but when they're up and they see a girl or have an opportunity, weak men are the worst men because once they have an opportunity to cheat, they will. Once they have an opportunity to betray you, they will. Because this is their only opportunity. But when you have multiple opportunities and you have options, you don't need to exercise every single option because you don't have a scarcity mindset. You have an abundance mindset. There's going to be another one. Like there's always another beautiful woman. So you don't have to like hang on to this woman or have sex with the woman down the street that's your neighbor and now your wife has to drive down the street and this woman knows she had sex with your man. Like what kind of shit is that? Everybody wants freedom, but nobody wants confusion. So the real question is, are we evolving how we love? Or are we just lowering the standard? Black men got to be a lot stronger and have to be a lot more transparent and real because you know that you don't just want one woman. You know your real desires. Why go against your desires and call it lust so you can sit here and lie and cheat on your woman and break up your family? And the broken black family is one of the main issues in the community to begin with. It's Harold Damu. I'm going to see y'all on the next one.